We've got here on DVD a couple of nice lighting examples, some good, some bad, but things you're going to run into in the everyday world. This is fluorescent lighting. Dark at night, light is straight up over the top of him, creating dark circles under his eyes. Not the best. If you can improve on that, then I would suggest it. Here's another example of an interview that's just not going to work out very well if you continue to shoot it that way. The sun is behind him, he has a hat on, so his whole face is in the shade. The camera is trying to adjust to this light, whereas it's leaving his face. If you wanted to light to his face, suddenly you're washed out in the background. So optimally you would turn him around and put the sun on his face, or have him take his hat off, something so that you don't have that. That's a problem. This is one light here with a relatively long lens. The light is shining on his face as if it's from a window. I shot this in his kitchen. It's one of my favorite places to interview somebody because you have daylight coming in. You have daylight coming in behind him, creating kind of a nice backlight, but you have something going on in the back, so it's an interesting texture. You have light off to the side, so you create some interesting dramatic shadows here, but not too severe. You can see his whole face, but it's much more interesting than if it was straight on. It's off to the side and you're shooting on the shady side. This is MMJ in Colorado Springs, who is shooting with no light. He's got a garage door open. It's a workshop. The light is coming in. Daylight is coming in. He's shooting from the shady side with a long lens. In other words, he's got the camera back a ways. He's zoomed in, which puts the background a little more out of focus, makes him pop right out. He's not part of the background. He's separated from the background because of the focal length. You do that by getting far back, doing the interview not right next to him, but maybe 30 feet back, and you get this effect.
And zooming in and then holding on that
right.
Tight shot.
This is another no light interview. Window is off to his right, to your left, shining on his face, across his face. He has a backlight. There's another window kind of right behind him, and there's another bank of windows behind him, creating a little bit of backlight. So he pops again. He's separated from the background because of backlight here. Natural backlight, no setup. I just moved him to where I could get this. There's a dark enough background, so he pops away from that. So you have basically two lights at work here, a backlight and a light off to the side, but it's all daylight and no setup. You just moved him to where he looked the best. This is kind of a nice framing here. It's not your traditional head and shoulders framing. You sort of include him in the background. The sun is shining on him, not right in his eyes, but off to his left and coming down across him. The sun's not directly overhead like it would be, if it was in the midsummer. This is springtime and it's shot in the morning, so the light is still kind to him and not washing him out. And this is a story on a projectionist. The light is off to the side, and this is a two-light setup. You have light behind him, separating him from a dark background, defining his face and head, and so it's a perfect backlight that makes him pop. It just brings him out, and it just creates something that I think draws the eye much more than if you had him sort of with no backlight and one light off to the side. It's just sort of much more muddy in the background. A backlight really helps bring out the interview subject.
Here are key points. Don't shoot into the sun. Keep the sun to your back. Use a strong backlight. Take advantage of window light. A longer lens means an out-of-focus background, which is good for interviews. Contact me with questions. Take care.